I'll definitely miss having her around. Still, I get the fact that she needs to be there for her family, even if this particular member of her family is the creepiest guy I have ever met. Honestly, it's probably time for me to quit anyway. Well, just as soon as I work up the nerve to let down my secret crush by handing in my 2 weeks' notice. I've had the hots for our senior partner, Charles Longfellow III, ever since he moved here from California and began working his way up the ranks at our firm. He's only a few years older than me, a legal prodigy, and also someone who's had a few lucky strokes like I have, so no judgment, please. I'd probably have bitten the bullet and asked him out already, but he has a girlfriend now. By the way, I hate her, and not just because she's standing in the way of what I'm convinced could actually be true love, but because she's mean and bitter and has never shown me an ounce of kindness in our entire acquaintanceship. At least she's not a murderer, although I did suspect her of a double homicide a few months back. We solved that one, though, and got both her and her brother off the hook. We also solved the murder of a prominent senator who used to live right next door. And as ready as I am to hang up my sign as a full-time PI, I'd much rather be chasing white-collar criminals around town than the homicidal maniacs I've been dealing with as of late. Because that's the thing about murderers. They're dangerous, with a capital D. It stands to reason that eventually one of them is going to want revenge on the crazy girl and her cat that got them arrested in the first place. I just hope I'm ready when karma comes calling. I almost ran straight into Nan when I returned home from work that sunny afternoon.
"Look what I made for you today in my community art class," she cried,
completely unbothered by the fact I'd almost knocked her into the antique stained glass windows that flanked either side of our front door. I took one giant step back and studied the sizable metal sign she held between her aged hands. Pet Whisperer P.I., I read aloud, then grabbed the thing to take a closer look, and almost dropped it as soon as the heft transferred to my hands. Oof, this is really heavy. Nan shook her head and tutted at me.
"Well, it's not made of paper, dear."
"What kind of art class are you taking, anyway?" I said as I appreciated how the various scrap metals had come together to create something new and beautiful.
"It's a little bit of everything. Sculpture, welding, landscapes, still lifes, nudes."
She winked at that last one, and I had no doubt that this meant the nudes were her entire reason for signing up in the first place. "Sounds like a good time," I said with a laugh. My Nan was always finding something new and exciting to occupy her time. Apparently this included advertising my closely kept secret to all of Blueberry Bay. Nan caught me studying the sign with a nervous expression and explained,
"It's for your business, dear. Seeing as I'm your assistant, I figured I'd make myself useful."
"But we haven't even officially opened yet," I argued. I loved Nan and was excited she wanted to help, but the added pressure didn't make this big career transition any easier on me.
"Yes, you really do need to get on with it already,"
my grandmother told me as she furrowed her brow in my direction. I groaned, even though she was 100% right about this. "Okay, but I don't want people to know I talk to animals, remember?" That was the other weird thing about the last couple weeks. My memory was a bit fuzzy, but also my mind seemed to be more open. I still didn't know how I could talk to Octo-Cat, but lately I'd been able to hear other animals besides him, too. First, there were the birds on the rooftop, then a curious squirrel in my garden. I'd even managed to listen in on a great big buck I'd startled in the woods outside our manor house. My ability to understand other animals was touch and go, and also a brand new complication in my already crazy life. It had always been Octo-Cat, and only Octo-Cat, and I really didn't know how I felt about becoming a full-on doctor.